Fascinating. By all biological accounts, you appear to be a real human being. Yes, well, I am aware and have familiarized myself with all of young Levi's notes about you, but I am a man who prefers to form his own conclusions based upon the information that I gather with my own eyes. Yes, he took notes about you. Levi takes careful notes of all of his discoveries, so why would he not take notes on what, by all accounts, appears to be the object of our life's work? What did Levi say about you? He noted a great many things about you, but I hardly see how that is of any importance at the moment. If you truly want to know, you may take a look at his notes yourself. I will not stop you. What I am more interested in is exactly how you came to be here and whether or not you are a true human being. Yes, I did say that you did appear to be a genuine human on the outside. But are you really a true human on the inside and out? Please do not be dramatic. Do not think of yourself a celebrity among me. Levi may fawn over you like a jeweler over a fine gem, but you are in my laboratory, not Levi's, and as a man of science, I never accept anything at face value. Oh? And where has Levi run off to? He left in a bustle earlier this morning, saying that he had to run to our relic storehouse to find something called a cell phone? Whatever that means. I expect he won't be back until evening, knowing his proclivity for distractions. Regardless, you and I have work to do. What kind of work, you ask? Well, Levi claims that you hail from another world called Earth, meaning that if you are indeed a human, you are not a Gaian human. What exactly this means in terms of your biology, I know not, but what I do know is that the only way you could have traveled from your world to ours is by using spatial magic. Yes, Levi did tell me that your world does not possess any form of magic, at least not any that you are aware of. Puzzling indeed. And you understand how this raises a few questions about your legitimacy, correct? What do I mean? Well, for starters, the fact that you state you know absolutely nothing about magic, nor have you ever practiced any of the arcane arts, goes entirely against what we know about humans today, which was that humans were experts at magic, capable of specializing in any and as many schools of magic they chose. So adept they were in their arcane practices that they were the only race in history that did not require any form of catalyst to even cast magic. What is a catalyst, you ask? Oh, yes. Seeing as there are no official arcane practitioners in your world, it would make sense that you'd never seen or heard of a catalyst before. Look here. Do you see the glowing crystals in my earring and the top of my glove? These gems are made of Tsundere, a unique mineral capable of storing and even releasing arcane energy under the right conditions. The deer and carriage lights look on your face tells me that you are not following along with the single word I am saying, are you? Okay. Let us try this approach. Has Levi communicated to you the fundamentals of casting magic yet? Mana awareness, capacity, and control? Good. Now think of the Tsundere crystals I wear as tools to assist me in the casting of magic. Nothing can improve your inherent mana awareness other than good old-fashioned studying and training, but the same is not quite so for your mana capacity and control. Simply put, at all times every living being on Gaia exudes mana, even if by a tiny amount. It is an intangible energy that stems from the realms beyond that passes through each and every one of us. However, the body can only hold so much of this energy. Therefore, when your body has hit its maximum capacity, any excess mana is harmlessly exuded back into the world. Satorite crystals which have been treated and refined are capable of capturing some of that excess energy and storing it, thus allowing an individual to cast larger spells that would otherwise drain their internal reserves of mana. Is this beginning to make sense to you? Good. Now listen closely, because that is not all. In experimenting with the different types of cuts for Satorite crystals, it was found that these gems can also act to augment and enhance one's own mana control. Think of the Satorite as a magnifying lens, and the spell you are attempting to cast as a ray of light. When passing through the lens, the light is condensed and focused down into a much sharper, much stronger, and much more precise beam. In practical terms, this grants a magic caster much greater control and precision over the spells that they cast, and shoulders a great portion of the physical and mental strain required to cast stronger and more complex spells. I am relieved to hear that you are finally understanding me now. The usefulness that Satorite presents for practitioners of magic is without question, and are often grafted into trinkets, weapons, and clothing. Such items are known as catalysts, and are unmistakable due to their distinct elemental glow. Oh, you are interested in acquiring a catalyst of your own? Well, if you are indeed a true human, then you may not need one. So great in their arcane abilities were the humans that they had absolutely no use for Satorite, whereas some races such as the dwarves and the orcs cannot even cast magic without them. Although... Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that if you were to attempt to learn magic, should you even be capable of it at all, that we may indeed need to acquire you a catalyst. But not a real one. A fake one. Just think about it. Let us assume that you are indeed a real human. This would dictate that not only are you indeed capable of magic, but that there is a bountiful reservoir of arcane energy within you, just waiting to be tapped. Do you really think that a novice such as yourself would benefit from a tool that enhances such a power? I thought not. Your powers could be cataclysmic, not to mention how counterintuitive it would be to have you running around causing such destruction without the use of a catalyst, if the plan is indeed to pass you along as anything other than human. No. I am afraid that if you are going to attempt to learn magic, that you will have to do it the hard way, both for your own safety and the safety of anything around you within a 50-yard radius. We will simply have to craft you some sort of luminescent glass bauble as a dummy. Huh? What do I mean by the hard way? We will get into that later. I believe I am quite finished with this topic of conversation. What I am more interested in exploring is how exactly you found yourself in our world. As usual, Levi's notes are nigh nonsensical to anyone but Levi. The last thing you remember before waking up in Verdonwood Forest is that you were about to die? Indeed. Levi's notes did mention you being hit by some kind of a large metal carriage, but in my professional opinion, I doubt that your death was of any importance. What are you giving me that face for? Come now, I may be a winter elf, but even I am not that cold. I was simply stating that if you did indeed die in your world, which you clearly did not, as I am currently talking to a living human and not another corpse, it would have had little to no impact on you getting here. Yes, near-death experiences can trigger magic within those that have latent potential for it. But if that were the case, then why would you have not teleported out of the way of the carriage, or teleported the entire carriage altogether? Truck, whatever. What I am trying to say is that however you got here, it was not by your own doing. Well, for one thing, spatial magic is very limited. You can only teleport to portal stones, which act as a sort of anchor, a fixed waypoint. In order to teleport to one of these portal stones, you must utilize something called an Egress Talisman. An Egress Talisman can be anything from an armband to an amulet, to a totem or even a rock with incantations carved into it. Whatever it may be, this talisman acts as your link to a given portal stone. All you need do is channel the teleportation spell through the Egress Talisman, assuming that you're close enough to your chosen portal stone, of course, and you're sent back to the portal stone. The problem is that this method is a one-way street. Although you can warp back to the portal stone using your Egress Talisman, you cannot perform the same method in reverse, as the talisman only anchors you to the portal stone. To remedy this, many larger nations will have a series of portal stones planted throughout their cities in order to facilitate ease of transportation, as portal stones can act as a two-way connection between each other only. You might have even seen one on your way into the city. The portal stones in Alsea are built to look like large brass gyroscopes with a glowing portal stone at their cores. What are you asking? Is it possible to teleport without using another portal stone? In theory, yes. But without a designated anchor point to act as your destination, you could end up teleporting anywhere within a 100-yard radius of your desired point, even into a wall or high up in the sky if you're not careful. To be quite honest, spatial magic is still a very mysterious school of magic with many unknowns. In truth, the spatial school of magic was first invented by humans over a millennium ago, and everything we know about it we've learned from deciphering ancient human text. The portal stones that we have today are merely cheap and limited limitations of the ones we've discovered in human ruins and tomes. Egress talismans are the only new innovation in spatial magic in the last 1,000 years. Wait. Portal stones. Where did Levi say he found you again? Yes, I know that you woke up lying on the ground in the Verdantwood Forest, but where in the forest did he find you? Think. Near the Verdantwood ruins. Yes, that must be it. Think for a moment. Do you think it a coincidence that of all places to appear, you happen to wake up next to one of the largest and least explored human ruins in Alsea? Precisely. We know so little about the Verdantwood ruins, but what we do know is that the ruins seem to be some sort of hub for magical and technological advancement back in their heyday. The problem is that I can imagine you being teleported to the Verdantwood ruins from across Mistran, or even across Gaia. But being teleported from an entirely different world? Well, modern arcane theory teaches us that interdimensional travel should be impossible, and tales of it only exist within children's story about fairies and the Fey realm. No. However you got to Gaia, it was certainly not of your own doing. Teleporting is a very deliberate process which requires concentration and mana, two things that it sounds like you did not have when indeed you were transported. No, you were brought here. Someone, or something, pulled you to our world, and I have a feeling that whoever or whatever it was lies within those ruins. What could it be? A good question, human. As of now, I do not know. And keep in mind that this is only a hypothesis. Whatever the who or what may be, though, I am more curious as to the why. Yes, the why being, why you? Why now? And of course, for what purpose? Levi is more interested in the details. He would rather examine how the bluebird sings rather than why the bluebird must sing at all. I, on the other hand, am always concerned with the bigger picture. This is what separates master from student, and I have a feeling that this bigger picture is part of a far grander design than I could have ever imagined. Yes, I have notes to take, theories to examine. For now, you must prepare. Prepare for what? For tomorrow. For you and Levi have a journey to go on. You are going to go back to those ruins and try to find out the what, the who, and the why.